Pineapple Academy, the frontline training platform built by operators for operators.
Healthcare, hospitality, education, manufacturing, transportation. These frontline industries are dealing with never-ending challenges every single day. Things like high employee turnover, safety incidents, skills shortages, inefficient use of managerial time, adapting to technological changes, low impact staff training, difficulty monitoring training progress, and too often outdated systems.
At the core of every business lies a crucial foundation, its workforce. When it comes to training, frontline industries are 50 years behind the curve.
This is where Greg Gorgone, co-founder of Pineapple Academy, steps in. Pineapple Academy is transforming frontline training in a very cool way that actually works. Imagine you're a chef, nurse, mechanic. You need some training, time sensitive. You need it with no fluff, no filler, just that 1 or 2 minutes directions that tells you how to do the thing that you need to do. You've just imagined Pineapple Academy.
Pineapple Academy, a next-generation video training platform designed to transform the way you onboard and train frontline workers. With hours of prepackaged training led by industry experts, it's easy to customize the content that's right for your team and share it through unique QR codes or hyperlinks. No apps or difficult software, no passwords to remember, just learning simplified.
Looking at the reviews of Pineapple Academy online, the end users are reporting that it's helpful engaging training, that it's reducing staff turnover, that it's increasing safety and reducing skill gaps. Also, saving managerial time, and that it's cost effective. Now, I'll let Greg tell you how Pineapple Academy is revolutionizing frontline training, helping employees get job ready 40% faster, and helping businesses and organizations in all of these different sectors scale, grow, and increase profits.
Heavily influenced by my dad's side of the family, who were immigrants from Italy. You go to your grandmother's house every Sunday and you feel that warmth in the food and the camaraderie. It's like food means relationship. Food is community. Food brings people together. What people don't understand about the food service world and the hospitality world, whatever you like to do, there's a job there for you. You can hit a QR code or go into some software that you're already using, or you just go onto our platform and you can watch a short form video to tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. Our ratings, we have a star rating 1 to 5, 5 being the best. We're averaging around 4.7. So we know it's the right tone, it's the right type of delivery, it's the right thing. And you said it earlier, just give me what I need. Both my business partner, Tucker Graves, and myself have been in the food service space and hospitality space, each of us respectively over 40 years.
Okay.
And so me on more on the operations and planning and design and project management side, him on the supply chain side, but he's also done operations as well.
Yeah.
And so, I started in the hotel business. And so I got into hotel business because I believe in hospitality. I think hospitality is the cornerstone of culture. It's the cornerstone of relationships. It's the cornerstone of how we interact with each other on a day-to-day basis, whether it be at home or at work. It just greases, civility and communication amongst all of us. We want to break some of the habits that are out there where people look at the frontline staff as just another line item expense, or they're just part of a machine. Part of the machine. These are people. They have aspirations. They have desires, goals, just like those of us that get to sit at a desk or run businesses. And so we need to understand that. We need to create an atmosphere. And we think short form video, short form digital content is what resonates with people. Even in my age group, people look at TikTok, they look at YouTube. My business partner and I joke around about if you need to fix something in our house, we're always the first people on YouTube to find out how to fix our dryer or how to paint a wall or fix something. Why is that any different in the workplace? We should be able to do the same thing. And so that's where Pineapple comes in.
Like it.
We look at ourselves as sort of a corporate YouTube experience.
I like it. Well, this resonates a lot with me. I've worked a lot in the hospitality industry. When I was old enough, I was 18. I got my first well, not my first job, but I got my first adult job in a pub, and I was hooked straight away. Became
Right?
became a bartender. I learned the American style of bartending. I worked in the big American chains, worked for TGI Fridays, Planet Hollywood, and traveled the world bartending.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
It's an amazing experience. What people don't understand about the food service world, the hospitality world, whatever you like to do,
Mm.
there's a job there for you, whether it's
Yeah.
within the operation, outside of it, or
Yeah.
supporting it.
Yeah.
Everybody can have a role in this
Yeah.
world, whether you like to engage with people or not. If you don't like to engage with people, there's tons of jobs where you can sit, behind in the back of the house and not
Yeah.
interact with anybody, but it's
Yeah.
still an important function of
Sure.
the overall picture,
Sure.
and
Sure.
that's what I love about hospitality and food service. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, it was a real sense of community that I don't think I've had
Yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Once you've gone through a few crises, or plumbing goes down, or things that happen in the
Mm.
physical world, and everybody bands together to fix a problem, it just creates that more stickiness between the
Yeah.
team.
100%.
And you're right. Not to compare things to the military, what those people do is a different level, but it's similar in the you're dealing with a crisis or a situation
Yeah,
or tough circumstances that everybody doesn't find themselves in every day.
exactly.
And if you rise to the occasion and you can look beyond it, it can be a pretty stimulating, exciting place to be.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And it sounds like you guys are approaching that through a medium that makes a ton of sense to me. This
Yeah,
kind of short form, get the bit of information that you need to get, learn it in a way that fits into today's world, and then get on with
that's
the
right.
thing.
That's right. You nailed it. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating as coming into an environment where you have a lot to learn,
Hmm.
and you're like drinking from the fire hose, and you're relying on individuals who are also busy, who
Hmm.
might have, you go to a supervisor or manager, they might have 10 things that's in front of them right then,
Yeah.
and you're just another one. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. Well, now, right in the workflow, you can hit a QR code or go into some software that you're already using, or you just go onto our platform and you can watch a short form video to tell you exactly what you're supposed to do if you with an assignment. It's
I
like
love
you're
that.
supposed to do blah de blah. Now you just watch a quick, 90-second video on how to do that. You don't have to talk to anybody. You're self-reliant, you're
Yeah.
self-learning, you're self-paced. So
Yeah.
everybody learns differently,
Sure.
and we cannot. I mean, you were a teacher in high school at one point.
Hmm.
I mean, it was that type of education is really kind of passe these days, in the sense
I
where
agree.
we understand now that everybody learns differently,
Yep.
and so
Yeah.
to lump everybody into one category of learner is a
Hmm.
disservice to everybody.
I agree.
And yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
I agree. It's part of the reason I got out of teaching was the whole approach. I'm talking more secondary, so like the kind of high school age.
Right,
Just seemed so antiquated and just
right.
so unhelpful for such a large majority of people, where so many people seem to come out of high school thinking that they're not good, they're not clever, they're not smart.
Exactly.
Yeah, it frustrated me too much.
I wasn't the guy that was cracking books. I was the guy that needs to see hands-on
Yeah,
and
learn by
experience something.
doing.
Learn by doing. Well, I mean, food service is the ultimate sport in that, right? Whether you're the dishwasher or you're the server or you're the manager, it's all happening all at the same time,
Yeah,
continuously, 24/7.
100%. Greg, this is cool. We have a segment called Elevator Pitch where,
Yeah.
and don't worry if this doesn't work. We've got about an 80% success rate.
Yes.
So there are some spectacular failures on this, but you're gonna have 20 seconds though. Is that cool?
All right.
All right,
Yes.
here it comes.
Awesome. So what Pineapple Academy means to me on a personal level is, after 45 years being in hospitality, I've learned a lot of things. I've learned the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we have an opportunity in time right now, due to technology, to deliver training and knowledge to the frontline staff so that everybody can learn, what people like me have been able to learn over 45 years. And there's a lot of knowledge transfer that's needed, and digital is the way to go. And we recognize that we want to meet the individual right where they're at. And it's at a cell phone level, right? It's at a tablet level. And that's what we want to do.
Cool, man. Cool. Very good. So you're based, again, this is all LinkedIn information, so tell me if I've got it.
Yeah.
You're based out of Heldsburg, California.
Yeah, Northern California, about an hour north of San Francisco.
Yeah, I looked it up. I wasn't familiar. I've been out your way, but I don't know it intimately. But the business, I believe, Pineapple Academy is Blue Springs, Missouri.
Right, we're actually moving into an actual office in downtown Kansas City. I'm proud to say in June of 2024. On June 26th and 27th, we're having an official ribbon cutting ceremony of opening the offices, and we're also releasing our new platform, which is Pina 3.0. And with the Pina, that's our platform. And matter of fact, our mascot, his name is Penelope. It's a little pineapple figurine, cartoon character. So we're trying to have fun. We like to play. We want to make this fun and engaging, right? And so that's why we really stick to that pineapple theme, which is, of course, the symbol of hospitality. So so we're gonna have a big event, big release, and it's really a dream come true for my business partner and myself and our team. It's just a wonderful experience, and very grateful for it. A lot of gratitude.
Nice. So piña, presumably from the Spanish for pineapple.
Correct.
Very good. Love it. So how did Pineapple Academy start, and what did it take to get where you are today?
Yeah. What happened was, over the last, prior to baking up Pineapple Academy, I had been a traveling consultant. I had been around the country doing project improvement projects with frontline food service staff and senior living and hospitals. I did some hospitality projects and stuff, and you see the same things over and over. And what it boils down to is poor skill sets at the supervisor and unit manager level. They really don't have the experience to be running these operations. And yet a lot of times they end up being in charge of these operations because they've been there the longest. And which is an admirable trait. It's great that these people are there and they're willing to take on that role, but they need help. They need tools. And to me, the one thing that has always been missing is having the right information at the right time to train people in their job. We focus a lot on what we call onboarding. Human resources has a different definition of onboarding. They're talking about onboarding somebody into a company and making sure they're meeting regulatory compliance situations, which is all valid and necessary. But who's onboarding them into their job, into the department, into the role that they're supposed to be playing? And it's supposed to be the front line, it's supposed to be operations, but operations these days, let's face it, staffing levels are low, budgets are low. We don't have learning and development managers in all these places. We don't have formal trainers anymore. It used to be, we used to learn on-the-job training. We're like the modern version of on-the-job training. It just happens to come in a digital format now that's easy to get that information on any device, whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, a computer, a dashboard. It doesn't matter. That information is available to you whenever you need it so that you can keep learning and keep growing in your role.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
We're going to do a section called Deep Dive. I'll just do a little intro to that. What's the most important thing about Pineapple Academy to you?
Well, for me, it's the fulfillment of a commitment that I've made in this industry for a long time. And that commitment is to educate and teach people about food service, whether you're the dishwasher or the executive over a food service operation. There's something to learn. I've been doing this for over 40 years, I'm learning all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, with today's world, with the advent of technology coming into our lives, there's so much there to unpack. And so I feel like I have a responsibility on an individual basis, but also as a co-founder and president of Pineapple Academy, to continue to look for technology and other services that we can provide and bring to the workplace. And so our role is sort of like we're like the hub of a wheel. We're in the middle, and everybody's content is on our library for access, whether you're a manufacturer, a content developer, a professional bartender that wants to put out their fancy recipes and sell it to the world, or just a guy that just wants to show you how to clean the floors properly, or how to clean equipment and things like that. So, or regulatory compliance, understanding that. So, we're trying to make it easier for not only the frontline staff, but management to curate and bring in all this content into one location so they can administer it and assign it to different levels of their organization based on what they need to know. So the show just keeps getting better and better, and everybody's improving their skill sets.
I'm trying to visualize this, and you tell me if I've got this wrong, but it sounds to me like if you're kind of like the TikTok for hospitality, that you've and obviously we use that term loosely, you've got this basically database of content that has come from various different sources, and then let's say a restaurant works with you guys, and it kind of picks what it wants its employees to see. Is that right?
There you go. That's exactly right. So look at it this way. So we have the ability to deliver content 5 different ways. So let's say you're a chain restaurant and you have a brand specific thing that you guys do.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we have lots of fundamentals. We have lots of stuff on keeping workplace safety and all that, which is pretty much valid to 99% of the operations. But you have brand standards. So you're able to do user generated videos and upload them as well. So it could be a blend of manufacturers videos, Pineapple Academy videos, your personal videos. And so now, let's say we have a digital asset. Let's say it's a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
So that video lives on our platform. We can leave it in our platform. You can watch it in our platform. We can also export a SCORM file into an LMS system. So if you already have your own platform to watch a video, we can export into that and give you data analytics on that. We can export it into an embedded URL link that's unique to your organization. So into your own POS, your other softwares that you use. It could be a hyperlink that you send out as a push notification, or it could be simply a QR code in a workstation or on a piece of paper. And all of it can be tracked, all of it can be seen, and all that data analytics can be given back to the operator. So you know where everybody's at in their training cycle.
This is cool. So you're basically meeting people wherever they're at.
Exactly.
I like
at the time of need. Yeah.
I like it. How do you measure success for Pineapple Academy?
As a startup, the biggest prideful thing that we shoot for as a company is retention. We have a very high rate of people staying with us. We haven't even have people who have, even after just 6 years of doing this, we have people who have left us and then come back. And so we have a very, very high retention rate. I think it's over 95% since we started. And I think the reason is because Tucker and I have been in the trenches. We have worked in these environments. We know what's going on. So we bake up and have really thought through all of our tech development and our videos with that empathy and that understanding what goes on. And so I think we know how to relate to the front line. We know how to relate to those supervisors and unit managers as well as the C-suite. And so we understand what everybody's dealing with on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, because we've felt all those stresses and strains. We know what happens. So we deliver it in a way where it's very relatable and people just get it. And so even older managers, boomers. I mean, everyone knows how to use a QR code. I mean, that's so relatable to people these days.
Yeah.
We're all coming out of COVID. We all know what a QR code, right?
Yeah.
And so it can be as easy as hitting a QR code, but the difference between our QR code and an open QR code is ours is being tracked. We know who's opening it.
Yeah.
We see who it is. Exactly. And it's gated. And so we could have 100 companies watching the same video, but the URL link is completely different for all 100 of those organizations. So we have the data analytics.
Now, this might sound like the same question, but maybe you'll perceive it differently. And if you do perceive it differently, then I'd be curious to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
How do you measure success for you?
Me personally,
yeah.
I'll tell you what thrills me the most is when I hear from an individual student, an individual frontline worker, how they were inspired or how it made them feel in knowing that they feel respected and that there's opportunity for them. Nothing gives me greater joy to see somebody light up when they're involved in our programs and they understand the intention behind it, which is to give them opportunity. Now, not every operator and owner out there thinks like that. Obviously, we can also speak to the financial aspects of this and the ROI, and that's fine too. But I'm more of the warm and fuzzy side of this business. And so it gives me great joy to see people thriving and doing well and getting the results by using our technology and by using our videos or our partners' videos so that we're delivering what we said we were going to do. But we can also talk to the CFO and show them just nuts and bolts and line item numbers. I mean, so we can, for me, we can go across the spectrum of business. Yeah. And that's where I get excited about it.
Nice. In terms of your marketing and sales over the years, I'm thinking from day one until today. How many years has the business been going?
About 5.5. We baked it up about 6 years ago, and it's been about 5.5 years we've been in the trenches.
So let's call it 6 years. Over the last 6 years, has your marketing and sales changed the way you've approached things? Has it evolved?
Very much so. Very much so. It has to. It's like when you're engaged with customers, like my business partner and I have. I mean, you have to understand that for a couple of years it was just the two of us, and so we're having all the conversations. We're doing all our own sales. I mean, we're shooting our own content. And so with continuous feedback, we've learned a lot. So I'll give you the major thing that has changed. We started out as a subscription model, where basically we gave you open access to our library. It was a fixed fee per month or per year per user, and it was open to everybody. Well, what we learned is not every organization needs or wants that, because they look at it. The dishwasher only needs a few hours of training, whereas the supervisor needs hours and hours and hours. So there was an inequity there to business perception that there wasn't enough value, and so we started changing that. We started giving the ability to cherry pick what they wanted by position. So we started rolling out with job role training. So we have one for utility worker, prep cooks, supervisors, front of the house, beverage people. So that way, as an operator looking at through that lens, they could see all their team members in a bucket of training needs for both onboarding and for cross training, right? So that was the first kind of thing we started doing. Then we realized that, everybody's out there selling this stuff, training online through a subscription or other way. It's sort of, the numbers don't necessarily always add up. So we decided to be very bold, and now we're out there selling by consumption. So now it's more about, okay, your dishwasher is going to need 30 minutes a month. So that's 6 hours a year. So how many utility people do you have? And so it's almost like a cell phone bill now. So you're going to get a monthly report showing your usage. We want people to use 100% of what they're buying from us.
Got it.
Right? but we also want the ability to add to it. So
Mm-hmm.
every time we have a new curriculum or a new whatever, we want to put in front of you and say, oh, this is valid. And we can also, it also helps us grow within the organization. So we're moving out of food service. We're going into housekeeping, laundry, facilities. Think about the deskless workforce. 80% of the workforce is deskless. So it's a huge opportunity to grow, not only through different verticals, but also within an organization itself.
I like it.
So we have a two-prong attack on growth and how to create more revenue.
It's interesting. The thing that jumped out at me from that, which I liked, or one of the things, is the onus is now on you, it seems, to come up with information, training, content that is relevant and interesting to their team.
Correct.
I like that. You're basically saying, pay us if we're good.
That's right. No, we want to create value. If we don't, like our ratings, our video ratings, we have a star rating 1 to 5, 5 being the best. We average, this is another thing that just thrills me. I think we're averaging around 4.7 in the ratings of what people are rating our videos at. So we know it's the right tone, it's the right type of delivery, it's the right thing. And you said it earlier, just give me what I need.
Yeah.
When you go into our videos, it goes right into that specific task. There isn't like, hey, hi, I'm Joe. I'm from blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's none of that. It's just like, you need to sweep the floor. This is how you sweep the floor. You need to repair this wall. This is how, you know what I mean? It's just very right to the point.
Relevance. I like it. What's a common misconception people have either about Pineapple Academy or about e-learning in the workplace?
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Well, I think the first thing we have to understand is the learning management system world that's out there has created a situation where you're tethered to a desk. So you have to have a laptop or a desktop unit to operate in a learning management system. And it, particularly like in heavily regulated environments, it's important to document the training. You have to. I mean, in many cases, you're required to do it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it takes people out of their workplace. A lot of times it's this death by PowerPoint. And so we hear that a lot, death by PowerPoint. And and I'm not going to name names. That's really not the point. The point is that people need a fresh approach. And so we have learned that video is really the way to go. And I think the other misconception I think that's out there is just because you have a learning management system, it doesn't mean that you're learning how to do the job itself. I think that's the other thing we identified in the marketplace is that there is a big gap between what HR does and what learning and development is supposed to do for the frontline staff. Most of the energies go into leadership. Most energy goes into training management and upper management and all that, which is all valid. It's just that 80% of your workforce is not in that space. And those are the people that are interacting with your customers. They're the actually delivering the actual product of your service.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if Richard Branson, I think, is really the maverick that really put that out there. You take care of your staff, and you train your staff and put your attention on your staff, your customers are going to win. The business is going to win. And I think that has been our philosophy since day one. I mean, we were reading all that stuff. We were doing our research. That was the thing that resonated with Tucker and I the most is Richard Branson's philosophy to business. Focus on the team. And that's what we shout from the rooftops every day in our marketing and in our conversations with others. It's like, let's give everybody an opportunity here. Let's invest in our team, not just some fancy marketing, it drives, how many times you've been in a restaurant or a hotel or some sort of a retail experience where their marketing looks amazing. And then you go in and the reality is completely different than what the marketing people told you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
I would agree. Yeah, it's a strange focus sometimes that people forget into the actual delivery of the product.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Marketing is one thing, delivery is a completely other.
Well, they need like you've alluded to, they need to collide, they need to complement each other, right?
They have, they have to be real. But
Yeah.
you can't get there unless you train the staff. I mean, if the
Yeah.
staff don't know what the expectations are, how in the world are they going to know? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to think that through osmosis, people are going to learn this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether you're in manufacturing, hospitality, food service, I don't care what, art, agriculture, whatever, people have to be taught things, you
Yeah.
know, and we do assimilate a lot by looking at videos.
Yeah.
We used to say a picture said 1,000 words. Well, a video says 1,000,000,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of nuance there, right?
For
And
sure.
so that's why we feel so strong about this.
Great. Let's change direction a little bit and let's look a little bit at yourself, please. Where did you grow up, Greg, and how did that shape who you are today?
Wow, that's interesting. So I grew up outside of Boston, um, heavily influenced by my dad's side of the family, who were immigrants from Italy. And
Yeah.
so you know, it when you go to your grandmother's house every Sunday and you feel that warmth and the food and the camaraderie, you
Hmm.
know, and it just becomes part of your psyche. It's like
Yeah.
food means relationship. Food is
Hmm.
community. Food brings people together and
Yeah.
creates that, whether it's just be a cup of tea or a big, huge meal.
Yeah.
Regardless. And what's the first thing you do when someone comes into your home? You offer them a drink, you
Yeah.
know, of some or a cookie or something. I
Well,
mean, that's just our natural way of how we interact with each other.
yeah.
And so if you become more mindful of that, it
Mm.
really becomes it really comes what drives you. And so for me, being in service to others was just a natural thing. I never had a stigma about it. I never put anything on it. And I never really considered there was another way to interact with people. And so
Yeah.
that's why I got in the hotel business. I was in the hotel business for years. And so I loved it, you know, and because I think I was able to separate myself from being in service of others.
Mm.
And unfortunately, somewhere along the line in the last 30, 40 years, there's a stigma against servicing and taking care of others. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure where that comes from.
Mm.
I think it's from the finance world where it's all kind of me, how much money can I make for
Yeah.
myself?
Yeah.
And I get it, but it's just not real life. That's just not what's going to help everybody
Hmm.
in this world. And so we're on a mission. I'm at Pineapple, and I'm on a personal mission. I really think it's important that we do what we do because of that. In the way, you know, I think there's some what the tech world has done good and bad for us. In some ways, it's bad because people internalize more, but it's also good because we have the ability to use it to help others. And I
Yeah.
think that is what drives me. And that's what I've learned along the line. I started out like you. I didn't have a computer until I was 30 years old. I didn't have
Mm.
a smartphone until I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
So I learned the world from you know, in the physical world and
Mm.
you know, doing things.
Offline.
And now offline, right?
Yeah.
Well, now here we are, fast forward 30 years ago, and I'm a co-founder of a tech company because I understand the balance of the two is needed in today's world. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to have both. I
No,
mean,
I
it
love it.
just,
I
yeah,
love it. I've been stuck on this idea of servicing others because it's been such a theme in my life. I started out in hospitality at the age of 18, took it through to about the age of 24, 25. And that perspective of the being of service and how can you look after the people that you are working with has stuck
yeah,
with me all the way through teaching,
yeah,
through marketing, everything, where it's like I think it's so easy for people to lose sight of the importance of service.
yes. It really is. It's like if you go through life thinking that this is not a team activity, that living life is, it really is. I mean, you have to, you just can't live in a vacuum, you
Hmm.
know? And so, you know, that's my personal philosophy. I mean, that's just me talking. I mean, everybody can have their own way they look at things. But to me, it really is important that we learn how to interact with others. I'm not saying you have to be, Mr. Congeniality 24/7, but you have to get out there and interact with people, right? I mean, it's just that's how the world's built. And so the sooner you kind of get over that and just realize like, yeah, we're just here to help each other and just get along. I mean, just being kind to the cashier at the grocery store or the bank teller or your Uber driver or whatever. It's like, just look at the world with gratitude. That's kind of how I approach things these days. And my life's a lot calmer these days by doing it that way.
Nice. I like it.
I have I don't have that much conflict in my life, and it's purposely done so. I don't feel like we have to have the conflict. It's just, it's just a fellow human being here we're trying to take care of.
I love it. What was the most significant turning point in your life?
There's been many of them. I've had many lives, and I feel very fortunate. I think the turning point for me was just the realization that I was probably around 30, and I just realized like my life is going to be what I make it. It has nothing to do with my family. It has nothing to do with the people I work with. It's really going to be self-generated. It's something I have to work on. And I have to treat myself as a project as much as I do my work projects. I have to understand that everything is evolving, right? We have to be constant learners. And I think that really came into my lens when I was in my 30s.
Nice.
I mean, it took me, it's still a work in progress. I mean, life is always evolving and challenges are always hitting you. But I think that was a big moment for me, is just realizing that yeah, there's nothing to look at other than the mirror to realize that your life is going to be what it is. So, what are you going to do about it?
I like it. What's something surprising you've learned about the people who learn with Pineapple Academy?
I think we never know what's going to light people up. It could be the simplest of things. And sometimes I think we think we have to do more than we actually have to do sometimes to meet people's expectations. The truth of the matter is, all of our needs are similar. It's like we just want to know things. We don't want to feel stupid. We want to feel respected. And so it doesn't take a lot more than just saying hello to somebody and checking in with a team member. Go, hey, how you doing? You need help with this? Or how are things going? It can be the simplest thing sometimes, and suddenly you can make a big impact on the team. And I think that's the piece that people really have to understand. This is not complicated. It's only as complicated as you want to make it. But all we're talking about is having one-on-one dialogue with someone. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah, I like it. People want to be seen. They want to be respected. They want to be supported, right?
Yes. There you go.
Yeah. Tick those boxes and you're probably in a pretty good place.
There you go. Yeah. That's what we try to do.
Love it, man. This is the final section. A few more questions.
Yeah.
This one's called Love Hate. I'll just play a little intro for it.
I love you.
I hate you so much!
So you decide which direction we go, Greg. What makes you angry, or what do you love about the e-learning world? And it can be in hospitality if you want.
Well, what I hate is when I assume something. It always goes back to myself. I hate when sometimes I misread a situation or don't understand someone where they're coming from. It gives me great joy to be able to meet someone where they're at. And so I'm constantly trying to understand where the other person is coming from. And when I do, it just opens up that ability. It helps me, but it also helps me engage with people. And so that's where I get my biggest joy, is just trying to figure out and understand how I can do a better job interacting with others. And, again, it's different with everybody. That's the other thing. It's like we can't lump everybody in the same category. I mean, I think we kind of grew up, you and I at our age, we kind of grew up, categorizing things. I think we just need to stop that. We just have to understand that everybody has a different experience in life, and we just need to relate to it. And I think that's the piece that learning management and ed tech really needs to get through their head, is like everybody's different, and we just need to meet them where they're at, and then you can be successful in that training approach if you realize that not everybody learns the same way.
Got it. That makes sense to me. How can people find you and Pineapple Academy?
Yeah, so we're really easy to find. Greg Gorgone on LinkedIn, Gorgone. I don't think there's a lot of Greg Gorgones out there in the world. I'm easy to find and get a hold of. All my information there. And then Pineapple Academy is just pineappleacademy.com. And we have a brand new website rolling out in the next couple of weeks. Should be released by mid-June. New platform at the end of June. So looking forward to sharing all that with everybody.
We'll probably
we're there to help.
release this video after that. So send me the links.
Perfect.
We'll put them in the notes.
I appreciate that. I definitely will, Mike. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Thanks for your
It's been
time.
a treat. Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If you have an e-learning business, you're a leader of an e-learning business that you're looking to get to the next level, increase sales, that kind of thing, feel free to reach out. I'll put a link to my LinkedIn beneath this video, and you can get me there. Have a great day.